Dawn Levine here, and today we're going to talk about food in Italy. Oh my word, so good. Mm-mm-mm. I still dream of my pistachio croissants. There's a few things to know about food in Italy. Um, one thing is there are some myths. So one of the things that I was told repeatedly before I left for my 3 week plus trip to Italy was, oh, the food is so pure and so wholesome, you're going to lose weight. Bogus. I didn't lose any weight. I gained 15 pounds and I don't regret a single one of them. And if I had it to do over again, I would do it again. Now, I buckled down when I got back so I could start shedding those 15 pounds, but I don't regret anything. I wouldn't do anything any differently. So, why did I gain so much weight? Well, my eating pattern there was very, very different than it is at home. At home, I'm very busy. I run my own business, and so I am on the go a lot. And I also do intermittent fasting. So at home, I have a window of time where I'm eating. I don't normally eat breakfast, and I often don't eat lunch. I eat a late afternoon meal, and then I eat dinner, and that's it. And that's how I keep my sedentary business owner lifestyle in check with my desire not to get unhealthy. So my eating pattern was very much disrupted while I was in Italy because I ate breakfast every day. I had a pistachio croissant every day. And I'm going to do it again when I go back next time because they were just fabulous. I think there was one morning where I had a chocolate croissant instead because they didn't have pistachio croissants somewhere, but I had those pistachio croissants every day where they were available. And I drink coffee at home, but coffee is different in Italy, and so I drank cappuccinos every day, and I had multiple cappuccinos, and so that milk added calories that I also wouldn't have normally been consuming. So there was that. And then I ate lunch every day as well. I was not going to miss a meal while I was there. I enjoyed all the lunches, and sometimes, and this happened at dinner and also at lunch, I was traveling with, there were four of us, and we would often go into a restaurant and there would be a lot of things that we wanted to try. And so we way over ordered our food so that we could try different things. And that also led to me overeating. We had four appetizers perhaps, and maybe four entrees, and we shared things. And so normally back home, we would have maybe had one appetizer and shared it, but we wanted to try all the things. And so I definitely was all about that. And when we were ordering, we would have some safe choices and some courageous choices so that we've hedged our bets a little bit. We're going to try this thing we have no idea what this is going to be like. Oh, but this other thing over here, we've had this before. We know what this is like. We're going to have this too. So that was fun, and I don't regret it at all, and I would probably do it again, and I probably will do it again. But just be aware that you are probably not going to lose any weight. That's a myth. So other things to consider, if you've got dietary restrictions, it's probably going to be relatively easy for you to figure that out. And to find things that are going to work for you. So, for example, we had a member of our party who does not eat cheese, and he was concerned about that before we left, that everything was going to have cheese in it. And the answer was no, it didn't. It was very easy for him to order lots of yummy dishes and avoid the cheese. It was very easy to communicate with the wait staff about what had cheese in it and what did not, what could you exclude it from, and what was it already incorporated in so that you couldn't avoid it. So it was very, very helpful. So finding restaurants can also be important. And we had very good luck with restaurants. We did have Um, a lot of times we would ask the people at the hotel if we didn't already have a sense of where we wanted to go. That worked well for the most part. It's very easy to end up getting advice, though, from someone who doesn't share the same taste as you. You know, obviously, if everybody had the same taste, then all the restaurants would be very similar, and they're not. So there was one particular hotel where we asked for recommendations for hotels. I think both nights we were there, and we were disappointed both nights. It's not. Oh, actually, that's not true. We asked for a recommendation one night, and we just stumbled upon a restaurant the other night, but we were disappointed both times. The recommendation was just like, there was nothing special about it. It just felt like food I could have easily gotten here in the States. It didn't feel special. It wasn't like, it didn't wow me. The presentation was the flavor was So I wasn't crazy about that. And then we stumbled onto a restaurant the other night that we were there. And again, the food was just mediocre. It just, like we had there's a dish, it's fried artichokes, and they are, I had them here in the States. In the restaurant, I had them here. They were just phenomenal. In this restaurant, it just tasted like old frying oil. It wasn't good. It felt like the ingredients were mediocre. So when you're looking at restaurants, and we didn't do this on the front end, but we got wise after, this was the first city we were in, and we got wise after that. We looked to see what people had to say about them. Not just, what was their rating online, but also what did people have to say about them. Sometimes a restaurant may have a location that's just so phenomenal, you're willing to forgive the mediocre food, or the view affects your feelings about the experience. So look at the reviews to see what people had to say about it. Look at a few of the good reviews, look at a few of the bad reviews. Why did people like it? Why did they not like it? And that was very helpful. So we did get a recommendation from our concierge in Florence, and they turned us on to this restaurant in Florence that we just fell in love with. It was called Zio Gigi's. If you're in Florence, go check out Zio Gigi's. That means Uncle Luigi in Italian. This restaurant was so fun. So the lady or the guy at our hotel told us to go there, and we went, and we walked in, and the place was full of locals, which was a good sign. And the guy cooking your dinner is Gigi. It is the Gigi. He's cooking your dinner. He brings it out to you himself, and he's often just bursts into song. And it's not just the food. The food was fabulous, but it's also the experience to be there with all these locals, and he's, shooting the breeze with this table full of his friends who come there every week. It was a really cool experience. And then the second night we were in Florence, we tried to go to a restaurant that had been recommended by Rick Steves. It was in his book. It had good reviews in the book. And we went there, and we walked in, and people were very busy, and I don't have a problem with that. And we just kind of waved at somebody, can we sit? And they didn't come over to greet us or anything. They just pointed at a table. So we went over to the table, and we sat down, and we sat there for probably about, I'd say we probably gave it 10 minutes. I don't have a tremendous amount of tolerance for inattention in a restaurant. I have a lot of experience in the restaurant industry. So we sat there for 10 minutes, and nobody brought us menus, and nobody came to see us, and nobody said, I'll be right with you. Nobody said, oh, so sorry about the wait. We're trying to get caught up. And it didn't look like they were struggling to be caught up. And it was not like it was a dimly lit restaurant where we were in a tucked away corner and nobody noticed us. We were right in the center of the dining room. It was brightly lit. People were going right by us every 2 seconds. and nobody would take care of us. So I said, I don't know what it is that we have. This is not going to work. If we can't get this much attention on the front end, then we're not going to be getting any attention when we actually need them to bring us more water, or there's a problem with the food or whatever. So we got up and we went back to ZOGG's. As a general rule, we try not to go to the same place twice because we want to try new things, but it was tried and true, and we had such a good experience that we went back again, and we had just a phenomenal experience. It was just, I love that restaurant so much. If you're in Florence, go check out ZOGG's. It's not far from the cathedral, the Duomo. So, not the Duomo, yeah. So it's very close by to that. So definitely be careful about where you go. Look at the reviews to see what they say. Get recommendations from the people in your hotel, but also verify that before you go there. Okay, this is the guy at the hotel said this, but this is what all the people who went there said. You know, the restaurant could easily be a friend, the restaurant owner could be a friend of theirs, and maybe they're not recommending it because it's great. They're recommending it because it's their friend. So keep all of that in mind. But the food was just phenomenal. I have pictures of all of my meals still saved on my phone. In Florence, I had this dramatic squid ink ravioli pasta. It's black and just dramatic. It was filled with crab and it was covered with a tomato sauce, and it was beautiful and it was delicious. We also went to Greece, and we stopped at this little tourist trap right on the water, and I still have a picture of my my grilled octopus. It was beautiful and so delicious. The food was just phenomenal. I ate all the things and I loved it. And if you like food, if you like Italian food, eat your way across Italy. It's fantastic. There are certain dishes that are just like go-tos in certain places. So, Venice is on the water, so the seafood is going to be phenomenal. If you're up in the Alps, up near the border in northern Italy in the Alps, you're very likely going to be eating German food because they speak German, they speak Italian, but German is their first language, and the food is very German. So you'll see a mix of Italian things that seem quintessential Italian and also German food, and I enjoyed that immensely. But the food is just so good. You're just gonna love it, and I definitely recommend eat all the things and just be prepared to try to work that weight off when you get back, because if you really enjoy yourself like I did, you're probably going to gain a few pounds. Hope you found this helpful, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe so you get notifications of our future episodes, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.